And we were looking at this example. So we are given this function, this system of when yn is equal to 10 x of n, which is an amplifier, and prove whether that it is linear or non-linear. So to do the proof, so we are given this system. And to prove that it is linear or linear, we have to prove al-qaida. That if we have x1 or x2, then the output will be, if we have a combination, linear combination, the output will be the same linear combination. Okay, so let's assume that we have x1 y1 تساوي 10 x1. يعني عندي a sample, a signal x1 والاوتبوت حقها y1. Okay, so I have an x1 والاوتبوت حقها y1. So if that's the case, then they follow this formula according to the system definition. Y1 should be equal to 10 x1. Also, we assume that there is another one, x2. Therefore, they also follow the same. And we should check and assume that we have y is equal to some alpha times x1 plus beta. يعني y is a linear combination of x1, x2. So what we need to do is we need to check that we check this formula that the output of, oh man. So if we're having some kind of xn is equal to this one, then we want to show that its output y of n is equal to this one. So here we're having x, and we need to check that y of n اللي هي الاوتبوت حق x تساوي a linear combination of the outputs alpha y1n plus beta y1 y2 عفوا n. Okay, so we need to check this. This is right hand side, left hand side. Okay. Proof. Let's start with the right-hand side. What do we know about it? That it is equal to 10x of n. We know this one from equation 1. Now we can give it equation 2, equation 3. هذا كلهم given. Equation 4. Okay, all of these are given. All this part. This whole thing is given. All this is given. And we want to check this. So we are given equation 1. According to equation 1, we can write that it is equal to 10 x of n from 1. Then احنا هنبغى نوصل لهذه صح؟ وأنا عندي الايكويشن 4 هذه تفكها، تفك الاكس ان. So we can use equation 4. Then it is equal to 10 x of n. هذه عندي الايكويشن 4. I can write it as alpha x1 of n plus beta x2 of n. هذه from 4 equation 4. طيب mathematically some algebra I can distribute ال 10 هذه فتصير alpha 10 x1 plus beta 10 x2 of n. Just algebra. الجبر الخوارزمي. Okay, well, this one with this part, according to equation 2 and 3, they're equal to y1, y2. So we can write this as y alpha عفوا y1 n plus beta y2 n. So هذه from 2 and 3. And we have proved it. Done. So we have proved this. Therefore, system is linear. واضح. So this is the correct way to prove it. Correct steps to prove it. You justify all your steps. You show me the proof. You show me the steps. You justify your steps. Everything's clear. Okay, next. Given this system, is it linear? Show your proof. We're gonna do the same steps. X squared. So given, assume we have y1 is equal to x1 squared and y2 is equal to x2 squared yn. And that x n is a linear combination of x1 and x2. So check y of n is also a linear combination of y1 plus beta y2. Okay, so we want to check this. Is it equal? Are they equal? Right hand side or left hand side? So proof. Let's start with the right hand side, y of n. Again, we have this formula, we have this formula, we have, all of these are given. So according to 1, y of n is equal to x squared. احنا we want to reach this. So لازم نفكها نفكها into two parts. أي equation تساعدنا نفكها يا ربي. This one. هذه xn. شوف I can break it down into x1 and x2. So let's do that. So x is going to be alpha x1 plus beta x2 all of this squared. So هذه from equation 1. وهذه from equation 4. Now we're going to use algebra. We're going to break down this square polynomial. It's going to be alpha squared x1 squared plus 2 alpha beta x1 x2 plus beta squared x2 squared هذا just simple algebra. طيب كيف نوصل لهنا؟ well عندي هذه equations تقول لي انه x squared هي y of n. so هنا معناته these things هذه ممكن نعوضها ب y of n. so therefore we can write this as alpha squared y of n y1 of n عفوا هذه from this equation to نفس الشيء الثاني هذه beta squared y2 of n plus 2 alpha beta x1 اوكي next نبغى نوصل هنا احنا ما وصلنا لسه عندي شيء شبيه عندي هذه y1 نبغى نوصل هنا عفوا عندي y1 عندي y2 لكن هذه مضروبه في الفا سكويرد مش في الفا وهذه مضروبه في بيتا سكويرد مش في بيتا وبعدين عندي المشكل هذا وين هذا ما يروح لا الفا زيرو ولا بيتا زيرو ولا هذه زيرو يعني ما حيروح هذا هل ممكن في نسينا شيء ولا ما انتبهنا شيء ما في يعني ما ولا الفا سكويرد ما حتكون الفا يستحيل وين حتروح It's very clear انه this thing is different from alpha y1 plus beta y2 they're different ما في مجال انه يكونوا متساويين ابدا مهما سويت الا في المخيله في الخيال او في كواكب اخرى ممكن في المريخ في شيء ما في يعني ابدا ما بعاد مره عن بعض therefore system is not linear خلاص okay any questions so far okay another property is time invariance or shift or time invariance so a system is called time invariant or shift invariant if its input-output characteristics do not change with time. So a shifted input signal will produce a shifted output signal with the same shifting. Okay, so if I have a system where y is the output of x, yani y is the, given x the output is y, then if we shift x by n0, then the output will be the shifted output y1 with the same shift n0. So that's what you need to show انه the output is shifted by the same amount. هذه يسموها shift invariance. إذا shift different then it is not time invariant or shift invariant. Example: given a linear system yn 2xn minus 5, find whether the system is time invariant or not. So we do the same thing. We have the system We have y1 is the output of x1. And then let's assume that we have x2, which is a shifted version of x1. We have x2, which is shifted version of x1 with n0. So they prove or show or check إنه الأوتبوت y2 of x2 هو shifted version of y1. So check that y2 is shifted version of y1, i.e. y2 equals y1 shifted with n0. All right. So it's the same trick. We start with y2. According to the definition, y2 should be equal to 2x2 n minus 1, according to the definition of the system, equation 1. And x2 هنا, according to this equation, is just equal to x1 yeah, so y2 of n is equal to 2x2 n minus 5. Then according to this equation, okay, إذا عندي x2 of أي شيء هنا زي مثلا معزة, okay, then it is equal to عفوا المعزة هذه أو بقرة أو so according to this equation, if you have x2 of بقرة, then it is equal to x1 of the بقرة minus n0. So I need to keep البقرة هذه هنا, I need to remove from it n0 طبعا x1 minus n0. okay, لأنه that's the definition هذه, you keep the same one and you subtract n0. So we keep البقرة and we remove n0. Okay, next, so it is n minus 5. and I want to show this. okay, كيف نحولها y1 الحين؟ So we use this equation here. Is it this one? Is it equal to this one? Y1 n minus n0. What is this equal to? This is the left-hand side. Well, according to the definition, this is equal to, according to 1, this is equal to 2x1, and then we should keep the same element here, and then subtract 5. Okay, if you compare this to this, compare all this to this, they're equal. As you can see, they're equal. So this is equal to y1 n minus n0. So we proved this. Therefore, system is time invariant. Okay, next. Given the system y of n, 2x of 3 of n. Find whether a system is time invariant or not. Okay, so we're given this. We assume that we have y, so this is y1 is equal to x1. We assume we have another one, y2, that also it is equal to, it is the output of x2, معناته it is equal to 2x2 3n. I always use square brackets because this is for discrete signals. We are in this course, we are always studying discrete signals, so we use square brackets as we have agreed. So check that y2 of n is equal to, oh, we have to another assume also. assume now we also assume that x2 is a shifted version of x1. يعني x2 تساوي x1 shifted with some shift n0. So check that also y2 is a shifted version of y1. That's معناها time invariant. So I have the right hand side and left hand side. So proof. So if we start from this side, left hand side, okay, using this equation, we can write it as 2 x2 3n. اوكي احنا نبغى نوصل هنا. So لازم ندخل حكايه ال n0. I have to introduce n0. طيب عندي الايكويشن هذه 2 تخليني اقدر احول x2 الى x1 وفيها n0. So let's do that. So let's use so this is using 1. Now we're going to use 2. This is going to be 2x1. Okay, and then whatever is here we're going to keep it زي ما هو. And then we subtract minus n0. So here we use 2. All right, we use 2. All right, is it equal to y1 n minus n0? Let's see, what is the right hand side? Oh, that's y1 n minus n0. طيب خلينا نخليه in terms of x1 عشان نقارن بينهم. كيف نخليه in terms of x1؟ well نعرف انه y1 هو يساوي هذا، يساوي according to this equation الأولانية. It is equal to 2x1 3 multiplied by what? 3 multiplied by whatever is here. البقرة اللي موجودة هنا هي نفسها، لازم نخليها هي نفسها. اوكي n minus n0 كلها، فلازم نحط عليها بس نحط عليها parenthesis لانه هي كلها حتنضرب في 3 كلها. Okay, so do some algebra. This is equal to what? 2x1 3n minus 3n0. Okay. So if you compare this now to this, are they equal? No way. There's a difference here. This is n0, this is 3n0, so they're not equal. So, you know, these are not equal. Thus, y2 of n is different from y1 of n minus n0. Or left hand side is different from the right hand side. Therefore, system is not time invariant. في سكوت تام، لا في واو ولا في وات. هل السكوت علامة الرضا؟
ان شاء الله يا دكتور. إيه.
طيب. causes a causal linear time invariant system. شفنا احنا ايش معناته causal، ايش معناته linear، ايش معناته time invariant. So a causal linear time invariant systems اللي هي باختصار يسموها LTI. LTI system can be represented by a difference equation. So in general ممكن يكون عندك y of n plus some coefficient a1 مضروبة في y of n minus 1 plus another coefficient في n y n minus 2 and so on حتى a of n the nth coefficient times y n minus capital N. So ممكن يكون عندك many هنا shifted versions of y، وهنا يكون عندك many shifted versions of x. So عندك xn مضروبة في first coefficient، then عندك shifted version xn minus 1 by multiplied by some coefficient b1 and so on, xn minus 2 multiplied by coefficient b2, blah 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 blah, until basically the last shifted version by capital M multiplied by coefficient M. So all of these are shifted versions of the input, all of these are shifted versions of the output. You can have as complex system as you want, and it depends حسب السيستم. So there could be many shifted versions like that. We can actually rearrange this write it shorthand. So أول شيء إيش سوينا؟ خلينا yn الوحيد هنا والبقية كلها سوينا shift to this side. فطبعا يتغير الساين حقتها إلى نيجاتيف، كلها صارت نيجاتيف. وبعدين بدل ما نقعد نكتب فيها كده، احنا مهندسين ورياضيين ما نبغى نكتب بالطريقة الطويلة هذه، فنستخدم السم symbol او السم shorthand. It's basically this one is the sum of coefficients ai مضروبين في y n minus i, this part negative, plus this part is the sum from j0 to m of bj multiplied by x n minus j. So this is basically a difference، سموها هذه difference equation. difference ليش اسمها difference equation؟ لأنه فيها عندك this part minus this part. So the inputs, sum of some shifted versions of the input minus a linear combination of the shifted versions of the output. So it's called the difference equation. مهمة هذه equation, very important, this shorthand. Some question, example question، يقول لك مثلا identify the non-zero system coefficients of the following difference equation. So يعطيك difference equation ويقول لك طلع لي الكوفيشنتس الايز والبيز اللي هم من الايكويشن هذه. give me the a's و the b's. non zero طبعا لانه واضح انه الاغلبيه حقهم حيكونوا زيرو. So if you look at this difference equation هذا الانبوت و this is not shifted, so هذه a0 so عفوا on a1 yeah b0, so the non-shifted input is multiplied by b0. وthese inputs يبدأوا من 1. So this is small difference، لاحظوها هذه بالله. الايز يبدوا من 1 والبي فيهم b0 وبعدين يمشوا البي ام. So هنا البي 0 تساوي 1 coefficient، وهذا is the coefficient اللي هو A2 ولا A1 يبدأ من 1 A1. So A1 is minus 0.25. ليش؟ لأنه الديفرنس equation فيها minus هنا. difference equation لازم يكون فيها minus هنا. فلازم نحطها in this form. It's very important and we keep the form. So this equation here, difference equation، عشان نحطها in this form so remember we have to put it in this form. So we have to have minus and then here the sum of the different ANs اللي فيهم shifted versions of the Y's plus shifted versions of the X's. بالنسبة لل shifted versions of the Y's عندي هذه 0.25 Y N minus 1. لكن عشان احافظ على الايكويشن تكون نفسها هذه، اذا ما دام حطيت ماينس هنا لازم احط ماينس هنا. plus sum of shifted versions of x it is 1 multiplied by x of n. Okay, this is basically a1 لانه هذه 1 لانه دائما هنا i متساوي للاي هذا. هنا ai اذا كان هنا i هذه تولي ai، فهنا i هي ايش؟ 1، اذا هذه a1. هنا الاي هنا الجي عفوا الجي مساوي للجي هذه. هنا الجي ايش؟ minus 0، اذا الجي تساوي 0. this one is b0. okay. what about the second one؟ ما فيها y's، فاذا هذه xn وهذه xn minus 1، فاذا الاي's كلهم صفر. all a's are 0. they're all 0. so that's why we don't have a's. we have b's. we have a b0، هذه b0 لانه هنا minus 0، وهذه 1، فهذه اذا b1. فالبي 0 هي 1 والبي 1 هي 0.5. okay. thank you very much. any questions؟
يعطيك
okay,
العافية
see you.
دكتور.
الله يعافيكم. see you Sunday ان شاء الله.